Uranus is a death sentence, not a destination. It's 2.9 billion kilometers away, a journey that would take 8 years minimum. And by the time you arrived, you wouldn't be the same person who left. Your bones would be fragile, your muscles would be gone, your mind would be broken by years of isolation. But even if you survived the trip, Uranus itself would kill you. Because what looks like a beautiful blue marble from space is actually a toxic, freezing, foul-smelling hellscape that actively tries to destroy anything that gets close. Let me explain why you will never survive a trip to Uranus. Uranus is far. Incredibly far. At its closest approach, it's 2.6 billion kilometers from Earth. At its farthest, nearly 3.2 billion. For perspective, Mars is about 55 million kilometers away. Uranus is 50 times farther. A journey to Uranus would take at least 8 years, one way. That's 8 years in a cramped spacecraft, 8 years of recycled air, 8 years of cosmic radiation shredding your DNA, 8 years watching Earth become an invisible dot. And here's the brutal part. You can't bring enough fuel to slow down and return home. The rocket equation makes it impossible. Once you commit to Uranus, there's no turning back. You're stuck there, permanently. But let's say you accept that. Let's say you're willing to spend 8 years getting to Uranus, knowing you can never leave. What would you actually find when you arrived? First, the smell. If you got close to Uranus, you would immediately smell the overwhelming stench of rotten eggs. That's hydrogen sulfide, the same chemical that makes sewage and decomposing bodies reek. Uranus's upper atmosphere is loaded with it. In fact, Uranus has more hydrogen sulfide in its clouds than any other planet in the solar system. Uranus is the coldest planet in the solar system. Not Neptune, which is farther from the Sun. Uranus. The coldest temperature ever recorded on Uranus was minus 224 degrees Celsius. That's colder than liquid nitrogen. Colder than anything you can comprehend. Uranus doesn't spin like other planets. It rolls. Most planets spin upright like tops. Uranus is tipped over so far that its poles point almost directly at the Sun. That creates the strangest seasons in the solar system. Each pole faces the Sun for 42 years, then it's plunged into 42 years of darkness. Imagine being born on the dark side of Uranus. You would spend your entire life in night, no sunrise for decades. And when the Sun finally does return, it doesn't rise in the east or set in the west. It spirals in bizarre patterns across the sky because the whole planet is sideways. Uranus is fundamentally broken, and it's been that way for billions of years. Uranus has no solid surface. It's an ice giant, mostly water, methane, and ammonia compressed into slush. If you tried to descend into Uranus, you'd never find ground to land on. The atmosphere just gets thicker and thicker. The pressure keeps rising. Eventually, the pressure becomes so extreme that methane turns into diamonds. Deep inside Uranus, it rains diamonds. Scientists believe that in the high pressure zones of the planet's interior, carbon atoms from methane are compressed so intensely that they crystallize into solid diamond. These diamonds would fall like hail through the depths of Uranus, sinking toward the core in an endless storm of gemstones. But you would never see them, because long before you reached that depth, the pressure would crush you into nothing. And if the cold, the smell, the pressure, and the eternal darkness weren't enough, Uranus has something else waiting for you. Radiation belts. Uranus has a magnetic field, but it's not normal. The magnetic poles are tilted 59 degrees from the planet's rotational axis. Any spacecraft trying to orbit Uranus would be bombarded with radiation. Electronics would fail, systems would break down. And if you were inside, the radiation would destroy you slowly, cell by cell.